1. Melting glacier could trigger volcanic eruption, study says. 2. A melting glacier trigger volcanic eruptions, climate change warning. 3. Melting ice caps trigger volcanic eruptions. 4. Melting glacier awaken volcanoes, climate feedback loop threatens global eruptions. 5. Antarctica's hidden volcanic threat, melting ice and climate collapse. 1. Melting glacier could trigger volcanic eruption, study says. *** warning, thawing ice caps may unleash a global volcanic fury. *** Imagine a world where the consequences of climate change trigger a catastrophic chain reaction, culminating in explosive volcanic eruptions that reshape our planet's surface. Sounds like the plot of a disaster movie? Unfortunately, it's a stark reality that a recent study has brought to light. As the world grapples with the climate crisis, fueled by our reliance on fossil fuels, the melting of glacier and ice caps is not only a harbinger of rising sea levels but also a potential catalyst for a surge in volcanic activity. This phenomenon, observed in the unique landscape of Iceland, has now been corroborated by groundbreaking research in Chile, highlighting a similar pattern on a continental scale following the last ice age. *** The science behind the fury. *** Here's how it works. The weight of massive ice caps and glacier exerts immense pressure on underground magma chambers. As these ice bodies melt due to global heating, the pressure is released, making conditions ripe for more frequent and explosive volcanic eruptions. But here's where it gets controversial. While short-term eruptions might temporarily cool the planet by ejecting sunlight-reflecting particles into the atmosphere, sustained activity would have a devastating counter-effect. It would pump significant amounts of greenhouse gases, including carbon dioxide and methane, into the atmosphere, potentially creating a vicious cycle of melting ice, eruptions, and further global heating. *** West Antarctica, the ticking time bomb. Researchers pinpoint West Antarctica as a high-risk zone, with at least 100 volcanoes lurking beneath the thick ice, which is likely to disappear in the coming decades and centuries. This prediction is based on the alarming rate of ice melt in the region, setting the stage for a dramatic increase in volcanic activity. *** Uncovering the past to predict the future. Led by Pablo Moreno Yeager of the University of Wisconsin-Madison, the research team embarked on an exhaustive study in the Andes, focusing on the Mochochoshuenco volcano. By employing radioisotope dating and analyzing the minerals in volcanic rocks, they uncovered a telling pattern. The thick ice cover of the Patagonian ice sheet, which was 1,500 meters thick during the last ice age, suppressed volcanic eruptions, allowing a massive magma reservoir to build up. Once the ice melted, around 13,000 years ago, the pressure release led to more frequent and explosive eruptions, with the magma composition changing to become more viscous and explosive. *** A global wake-up call. Moreno Yeager emphasizes, our findings indicate that as glacier retreat due to climate change, these volcanoes are likely to erupt more frequently and explosively. This phenomenon, previously observed in Iceland, could also occur in Antarctica and other continental regions like North America, New Zealand, and Russia, warranting immediate scientific attention. *** The call to action. Despite previous research suggesting a global increase in volcanic activity after the last ice age, the Chilean study offers a crucial insight into the mechanisms behind this surge. A recent scientific review highlights the critical importance of further research into the climate-volcano feedback loop, not only to prepare for the devastating impact of eruptions on human livelihoods but also to understand how these events could exacerbate the climate crisis, potentially leading to more extreme weather patterns. *** Now it's your turn. Do you think the potential for increased volcanic activity should be a priority in climate change discussions? How can global efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions also mitigate the risk of volcanic eruptions? Share your thoughts on the delicate balance between Earth's geological and climatic systems. 2. A melting glacier trigger volcanic eruptions, climate change warning. *** What if the very ice we're losing could become a ticking time bomb beneath our feet? *** Recent research reveals a chilling paradox. As glaciers melt, they might not just raise sea levels, they could also awaken slumbering volcanoes, triggering eruptions that could amplify the climate crisis. But here's where it gets controversial. This isn't just a local issue. It's a planetary domino effect, and the next domino might already be falling. And this is the part most people miss: hundreds of volcanoes, hidden beneath ice sheets in Antarctica, Russia, New Zealand, and North America, have been quietly brimming with magma for millennia. Now, as global temperatures rise and glacier retreat, these volcanic giants could become more active, erupting more frequently and explosively. A groundbreaking study analyzing 6 volcanoes in southern Chile during the last ice age has uncovered this alarming link, and the implications are staggering. The science behind this phenomenon is deceptively simple. Think of glaciers as massive weights pressing down on the Earth's crust. Their sheer mass suppresses volcanic activity by compressing magma chambers. But when ice melts, this pressure vanishes, allowing gases and magma to expand and build up until they rupture in explosive eruptions. This isn't just theory, it's a pattern seen in Iceland's dramatic transformation. 10,000 years ago, as glacier there disappeared, volcanoes erupted at a rate 30 to 50 times higher than before, reshaping the island's landscape. The study's lead author, Pablo Moreno Jaeger of the University of Wisconsin-Madison, explains that the trigger point for increased explosivity is when glaciers begin to retreat. Imagine a pressure cooker slowly releasing steam, he says. Once the lid starts lifting, the system becomes unstable. In southern Chile, researchers used a clever method to trace this history by measuring the radioactive decay of argon in volcanic crystals and analyzing magma chamber growth patterns. Their findings reveal that during the last ice age, thick glacier smothered eruptions, allowing magma to accumulate. When the ice melted, the pressure released in a catastrophic chain reaction, birthing the Mochochoshuenco volcano. But wait, how does this tie back to today's climate crisis? Over short timeframes, volcanic eruptions can actually cool the planet by spewing sulfide aerosols that reflect sunlight. History is littered with examples of eruptions causing famines due to sudden cooling. However, the long game is far more dangerous. Volcanoes also emit greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and methane. When eruptions become more frequent, these emissions could accelerate global warming, creating a terrifying feedback loop: melting ice, more eruptions, more warming, even more ice loss. This isn't just a hypothetical scenario. A 2020 study found that 245 potentially active volcanoes worldwide lie beneath or near glacier. Regions like Antarctica, with its vast ice sheets, are now under the scientific spotlight. These areas warrant closer attention, Jaeger warns, citing New Zealand, Russia, and North America as other hotspots. Yet questions linger. Is this feedback loop a guaranteed outcome, or are we overestimating the risk? Could human efforts to mitigate climate change outpace this volcanic response? The study's authors urge caution, but they also invite debate. We're not saying every glacier retreat will trigger eruptions, Jaeger clarifies. But the correlation is too strong to ignore. So, what's the takeaway? The Earth has a way of turning our problems back on us. As we race to curb emissions, we must also consider how our actions, like melting ice, might inadvertently awaken forces we've long underestimated. What do you think? Is this a wake-up call for more aggressive climate action, or are we misreading the data? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Ben Turner, a UK-based science writer for Live Science, has covered physics, astronomy, and climate change for over a decade. A former particle physics researcher at University College London, he now blends his scientific rigor with storytelling to make complex topics accessible. When not writing, he's likely strumming a guitar or attempting to master chess, though not always successfully. 3. Melting ice caps trigger volcanic eruptions. Imagine a world where the melting of ice caps isn't just a distant environmental concern, but a trigger for something far more immediate and potentially catastrophic: volcanic eruptions. Recent research published in Inside Climate News reveals a startling connection between melting ice caps and the potential for increased volcanic activity, with far-reaching implications for global climate. But here's where it gets controversial. According to researchers, the increasing volcanic activity could lead to a range of long-term climate feedbacks, with some Antarctic volcanoes potentially accelerating ice melt from below, while others could unleash explosive eruptions that send climate-altering materials into the upper atmosphere. This is the part most people miss when thinking about global warming. The study, funded by the National Science Foundation, focused on 6 volcanoes in the Chilean Andes. By analyzing the chemistry of rocks, scientists were able to trace changes in magma over millennia, uncovering a pattern of increased volcanic activity during the most recent ice age as the ice melted. University of Wisconsin-Madison geoscientist Brad Singer, who led the research, explained that thick ice caps act as lids on volcanoes, which can erupt when the icy cover melts or slides away. But how exactly does this work? Singer likened the process to opening a bottle of soda, where the pressure built up by dissolved gases is released when the lid is removed. When the weight of the ice is removed, the pressure in the magma chamber is relieved, causing the magma to erupt. The implications of this research extend far beyond the Andes. There is evidence that during the peak of the last ice age, about 14,000 to 20,000 years ago, suppressed magma pooled and partially crystallized with silica formations that trapped gases. This setup can lead to explosive eruptions of lava and ash clouds that can reach the stratosphere. Imagine the Earth's atmosphere being bombarded by ash clouds. It's a chilling thought. The study also raises concerns about the numerous volcanoes hidden beneath Antarctica's vast ice sheets, especially in the West Antarctic region. With warm ocean currents already melting ice shelves from below, the potential for increased volcanic activity could accelerate ice melt and contribute to rising sea levels. It's a vicious cycle that could have devastating consequences for our planet. But the story doesn't end there. The weight of the water released by melting ice sheets could also drive other geological feedbacks, such as an increase in earthquakes. As we continue to explore the complex relationships between ice, volcanoes, and climate, one thing is clear: we're only scratching the surface of what global warming can do. So, what do you think? Does this research change your perspective on global warming? Let's start a conversation in the comments. And remember, while the news may be free, the fight against climate change requires our collective action. For melting glacier awaken volcanoes, climate feedback loop threatens global eruptions. The alarming reality is that melting glacier could trigger a catastrophic chain reaction of volcanic eruptions, a warning that scientists are urgently sounding. Last updated, July 8, 2025, 1832 IST. The presence of ice cover has historically acted as a barrier, delaying volcanic eruptions by allowing magma to accumulate heat and pressure beneath the surface. When this pressure is finally released, it can result in eruptions that are significantly more powerful and destructive than usual. Among the most pressing concerns are the more than 100 volcanoes hidden beneath the thick ice of Antarctica. As global temperatures continue to rise, the melting of glacier and ice sheets is leading to more than just rising sea levels. It is initiating a dangerous chain reaction that could have far-reaching consequences for our planet. Recent international studies have revealed that the melting of ice is not just a climate issue but is also intensifying volcanic activity. A research team led by Pablo Moreno Yeager from the University of Wisconsin-Madison conducted a study on the Mochochoshuenco volcano in Chile's Andes Mountains. Their findings indicate that as the layers of ice recede, the pressure on the magma chamber below decreases, resulting in more explosive volcanic eruptions. Understanding the true source of danger. Historically, discussions surrounding glacier melt have primarily focused on the implications of rising sea levels, flooding, and climate instability. However, this new research underscores the critical role that ice layers play in regulating volcanic pressure. When these layers melt, they release trapped gases and magma without restraint, leading to potentially catastrophic explosions. A glimpse of the current situation. In a striking example of the current crisis, a video captured the dramatic melting of glacier under the bridge to Kangerlussuaq, Greenland, where temperatures reached 22 degrees Celsius. Danish officials reported that an astonishing 12 billion tons of ice melted in just 24 hours. Research indicates that between 26,000 and 18,000 years ago, volcanic activity was minimal due to the extensive ice cover. However, as the ice began to melt around 13,000 years ago, volcanic eruptions became increasingly frequent and intense. The concealed threat beneath Antarctica. The most significant danger lies in the more than 100 volcanoes that are currently concealed beneath Antarctica's thick ice. With the ongoing rise in global temperatures, this ice is expected to vanish within decades, which could relieve the pressure and potentially trigger volcanic eruptions. Should these Antarctic volcanoes awaken, the repercussions could be severe. They could release vast quantities of greenhouse gases, including carbon dioxide and methane, which would further accelerate global warming. A dual threat from Antarctica. Scientists warn that this situation creates a vicious cycle. Global warming melts ice, which leads to volcanic eruptions, and these eruptions, in turn, contribute to further atmospheric heating. If this cycle is not interrupted, it could spiral out of control, leading to devastating consequences. Moreover, the prolonged suppression of volcanic eruptions due to ice cover allows magma to build up deep underground, increasing in temperature and density. When this magma is finally released, it can result in far more powerful explosions than would typically occur. A global warning. What was once considered a localized issue is now recognized as a global threat. Countries such as the United States, New Zealand, Russia, and regions in India's Himalayas may also face similar dangers. Given the critical importance of understanding this relationship between climate change and volcanic activity, scientists are urging the global community to take these findings seriously. They advocate for increased investment in research to mitigate the potential disasters that could arise from this alarming phenomenon. Join the conversation. What do you think about the potential for volcanic eruptions triggered by melting glacier? Is this a concern that should be prioritized in climate discussions? Share your thoughts in the comments below. 5. Antarctica's hidden volcanic threat: melting ice and climate collapse. Antarctica is hiding a perilous secret. The melting ice could unleash a wave of explosive volcanic activity across the globe. A recent study has uncovered a shocking connection between climate change and heightened volcanic eruptions, indicating that the swift melting of glacier and ice caps, particularly in areas like West Antarctica, might trigger hundreds of explosive volcanic events worldwide. This research, which draws on geological data from the Andes Mountains in Chile, illustrates how the retreat of ice reduces the pressure on underground magma chambers, thereby increasing the likelihood and intensity of eruptions. Scientists suspect that this phenomenon, already noted in Iceland, could be relevant to various glaciated regions around the planet. The most alarming aspect is the presence of at least 100 volcanoes buried beneath Antarctica's thick ice. As global temperatures continue to rise, this concealed volcanic threat could create a dangerous feedback loop that exacerbates climate change. From ice to fire, the chain reaction beneath our feet is more than just a scientific curiosity, it's a potential crisis. According to the study presented at the Goldschmidt Geochemistry Conference in Prague, glaciers play a crucial role in suppressing volcanic activity by exerting tremendous pressure on the magma chambers located beneath the Earth's surface. As the ice melts due to global warming, this pressure diminishes, allowing gases within the magma to expand and lead to explosive eruptions. The researchers observed that after the last ice age, regions like Chile experienced a notable increase in volcanic activity, providing a foreboding glimpse of what might occur as contemporary glaciers continue to vanish. Since 1992, Antarctica has lost an astonishing 3 trillion tons of ice, a staggering figure that highlights the urgency of the situation. A case study focusing on Mochochoshuenco, a volcano in Chile, was led by researcher Pablo Moreno Yeager and his team, who utilized radioisotope dating of volcanic rocks to draw their conclusions. Their research revealed that a thick layer of ice covering the volcano between 26,000 and 18,000 years ago effectively suppressed eruptions. However, once the ice melted around 13,000 years ago, the volcano began to erupt more frequently and with greater intensity. The prolonged buildup of magma underground made it more viscous, which in turn heightened the explosiveness of the eruptions when they finally occurred. The risk in Antarctica is growing. The West Antarctic ice sheet, already vulnerable to rising temperatures, conceals at least 100 known volcanoes. Scientists caution that the loss of this ice could unleash significant volcanic activity in the region. While volcanic eruptions can temporarily cool the planet by releasing particles that block sunlight, sustained volcanic activity would release carbon dioxide and methane into the atmosphere, further accelerating global warming. Although much attention is directed towards Antarctica, Other glaciated areas such as North America, New Zealand, and Russia may also face similar risks. The findings from this study emphasize the need for scientists and policymakers to closely monitor glacial regions and prepare for potential climate volcano feedback loops. There is an urgent call for more research, which is now deemed critically important to comprehend how rising temperatures may interact with Earth's geological systems. Despite the potentially far-reaching consequences, the role of volcanism in climate change models remains underexplored. Researchers stress the importance of incorporating geological responses, such as eruptions, into our understanding of climate risks. As glaciers continue to recede and reveal ancient volcanoes, the Earth's response may not be gradual or subtle, it could be loud, explosive, and disruptively global. What do you think about the implications of this research? Could we be overlooking a significant factor in our climate change models? Share your thoughts in the comments.